All the way out to Las Vegas to bring in Pete Rose. Yes, he joins us on the MSG 150 speed dial, presented by Files by Verizon. Pete, thanks so much for joining us. You have a new book out. It's called Play Hungry, The Making of a Baseball Player. Tell us about the book and the motivation for doing the book.
Well, I think, I'm getting up there in years now, and I never really had a situation where I really talked about my dad the way I should have. And I was a baseball player because of the way he brought me up. And I was very fortunate because he was a baseball player, a basketball player, and a football player, and probably the best football player ever to come out of Cincinnati. And I'm just my dad in the next generation with a bigger and better opportunity. And I think we're getting away from that today with dads and sons and dads and daughters relationship. And I just want, or I hope everybody could have a relationship with their dad that I had with my dad. And when you read the book, you'll understand why I played the game the way I played the game.
And I believe I've heard you tell this story before. I think it's also in the book about if your dad had been around when you were gambling, that things would have been much different for you. Tell that story, please.
It might have been different, but don't forget, I don't know. Well, I know nobody in the clubhouse knew I was gambling when I was gambling. So the only way my dad would have knew is if I'd have told him. Okay, what I mean by that, no players, no coaches, no clubhouse guys, nobody knew that when I was gambling. But if my dad would have been there and he knew I was gambling, he'd have probably put a halt to it. Because he's the only guy in the world I ever idolized. And I met 7 presidents, but my father is the only one I ever idolized.
Pete, where do things stand in your estimation with the Hall of Fame right now?
See you later, buddy.
They don't stand, and I'm not worried about that. I mean, if I ever had the honor of going in the Hall of Fame, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. But I'm not going to live the rest of my life worrying about going to the Hall of Fame. My family knows what kind of player I was. My fans know what kind of player I was. My teammates know what kind of player I was. And I'm the one that screwed that up, so I'm not going to get on your show and complain about that. I don't think there's any way in the world that I'll ever go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I went to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cincinnati. I got my number retired in Cincinnati. I got a statue in Cincinnati. And don't forget, guys, that's where I was born. So that means so much to me to have those 3 things happen to me in Cincinnati. But I can't live the rest of my life worrying about going to Cooperstown. If it ever opens up, I'll be the happiest guy in the world. But when you screw up, you can't complain about something. It's because it's not their fault. It was my fault. Although I would like to have a second chance, something I have not been able to get so far. But I'm only 78, so maybe it's around the corner.
Plenty of time for sure. And we see how many people still turn out to see you, to get autographs, to meet you. It shows that many people still remember the way you played, how hard you played, the Charlie Hustle nickname, of course. And I have to ask, today's game with analytics, could Charlie Hustle play with analytics in today's era because of the way they make you play now, where it seems like hustling is almost no, we'd rather you strike out.
I don't think they. No. I don't think they make you play a certain way. And there again, could you name me a team that was strictly analytics that's won the World Series in the last 5 or 6 years? Here's the way you win a World Series: you pitch, you hit with men on base. I don't care if you strike out. That's the philosophy today. How many home runs can I hit? Okay, that's up. Strikeouts are up. And more importantly, and the commissioners should think about this, attendance is down. Okay, attendance is down in baseball. Attendance is not down in basketball. It's not down in football. It's certainly not down in hockey. So baseball has some concerns that they have to take care of. And I don't like the way the game's played today, but it's not the players' fault. The players, they go to the ballparks, and the ballparks are bandboxes, and the ball's juiced. They play with what they give them to play with. And don't tell me the ball's not juiced. There's too many home runs. Everybody who plays baseball today is potentially a home run hitter. Right. Not 40, 50, but I guarantee everybody on every roster today has at least 1 home run. And he's going to have more and more and more. And, I never thought I'd get on the show and defend pitchers. You can't pitch in Cincinnati. You can't pitch in the Camden Yards. You can't pitch in Colorado. You can't pitch in Philadelphia. You can't pitch in Colorado. You can't pitch in the new ballpark in Atlanta. You know, there's so many bandboxes in baseball. Houston is a joke.
Yeah.
If you ever did an appearance there and you stood at home plate, you say, why is those fences so close, you know, to where the fielder plays? And it's just not fair to pitchers, but that's what baseball wants, and that's what they got.
I imagine you wonder how many home runs could you hit today? Because, you know, you watch the way the game's played, and you ask yourself, you know, what players would be transcended? Which players could have played in another era? Is there someone you watch today and say, boy, that's a guy he plays the way I like to play?
Listen, I was over in New York last week and did everything, all the main shows, Francesa and Kay and Mad Dog and the rest of them on Fox. And I even had one guy, I forgot who it was, he said, well, Mickey Mantle and Willie Mays and Hank Aaron couldn't play today. What the hell are they talking about? Those guys couldn't play baseball today? Maybe the guys today couldn't play back in the 60s and 70s.
That's what I meant, yeah.
If you can play baseball, you can play today. Yeah, you can play today. It's just, I'm not going to drop my back shoulder and try to hit a fly ball. I'm going to try to hit a line drive. You know, I don't care how far a home run goes. If you have a 330-foot fence and you hit it 331 feet, you get an RBI. You don't get 2 RBIs if you hit it 440 feet. And everybody on TV today, oh, that one went 460. That one went 430. So what? Who cares how far it goes? Just get it over the fence. Line drives go out of the ballpark, too. I know a guy that hit 755 home runs and never hit a tape measure home run. His name was Henry Aaron. He hit line drive home runs, 755 of them. Okay? Barry Bonds wasn't a tape measure type guy. He had more home runs than Hank did. Willie Mays is 660. You know, I watched these guys play their whole careers. I don't remember any of them hitting opposite field home runs. Every night I watch replays, there's opposite field home runs in every game that's played in baseball today. Are they that much stronger than we were? I don't know how much stronger they could be than Willie McCovey.
Pete,
Willie Mays was 198 pounds.
last one for you, Pete. You were Rookie of the Year in 1963. It's Rookie of the Week here.
Yeah.
On MSG Network, presented by Squarespace, Rookie Week all week, presented by Squarespace. Any memories that stand out for you during that year when you won Rookie of the Year, your first year in Major League Baseball?
A couple. One, I had to beat out Ron Hunt, who played for the Mets. Everybody in New York wanted him to win. And I remember when I was called by Jack Lang to congratulate me on being National League Rookie of the Year, I was shining the mess hall floor at Fort Knox. I was in the Army, and I got the call from Jack Lang. I don't know how in the hell he got a hold of me at Fort Knox, but he did to congratulate me on being Rookie of the Year. That's kind of interesting.
That's a great story.
Well, Pete, we'll leave it there. Hey, thanks so much. Enjoy the summer. We can't thank you enough for joining us here.
Well, you get my book. I got a lot of stories. I got a lot of stories in my book. You get it, you'll laugh your ass off. Okay. And by the way, MSG does a great job.
All right. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.